All right, I guess I'm live. I'm going to tune this instrument, and as I get talking, you might be able to figure out what song we're going to do. And there's a joke that says 12-string players spend half their time tuning and half their time playing out of tune. I'm going to try not to make that the case. Now, you don't need a 12-string to play this song at all. Okay. And I may have to take off at some point, or not take off, just go to the front door, because I'm expecting, I ordered a new MacBook Pro, and it's coming today. So I don't know what time, so I got to stick around today. And I have to sign for it, of course. I'm not going to leave it at the doorstep. Hey, Diane. Steve, what's going on? Liverpool? This is not a Liverpudlian song. And what I'm going to do, now this is an experiment. The name of this video is Mystery Song. I'm going to add the title of the song after the video, after we do the live stream. So you can go back and find it later, okay? And then if somebody wants to at some point say, hey, the lesson starts here, we can do that too. You're going to need a capo for this song. So get your capo out, and we're going to talk about that. It's spruce top and then maple back and side. The back and sides are gorgeous. I mean, look at the tiger stripe maple right there. Some of the best looking maple I've ever seen. This is is this a 655 or an 855? I always forget. 655. The Taylor. And as far as 12 strings go, if you're going to get a 12 string and you have a budget, a good budget, I would totally recommend Taylor's. I think Bob Taylor said at one point that he starts with a neck. He wants a neck that's playable, and then he builds a guitar from there. And definitely, all my Taylor. Well, how many Taylors do I have? I guess I just have two Taylors. I have an 814 and a 655. But all my Taylors play great. And they're just 12 strings are hard to play anyway. So to have one that plays, that's designed to play easier. I remember the first time I ever picked up a 12 string was probably a Martin, and it was like, are you kidding me? And my second guitar was a K 12 string. So it was a 12 string, which is already brutally hard to play, and then it was a K, which is a really cheap guitar, and the neck was warped, and I didn't know. I was 11 years old, and I wanted to be, John Denver. So that guitar almost made me quit playing guitar. So there's a lesson in there. It's somewhere basically saying, too cheap. And I'm a big fan of cheap guitars, but guitars that don't play well, you can take a cheap guitar and get it set up so it plays well. So I'm sorry, let me do some shout outs here. If you're new to the channel, because we're starting a new, thank you, Joseph. You bought my coffee for me. Appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, we're starting a brand new series today. I hope it's going to be a series. This, like I said, this is an experiment where I'm going to teach the song. I always say I never teach songs because I don't want to get copyright strikes. Now, I won't get a strike. What will happen is, and I'm curious about this, Joseph, what will happen is if they deem that I'm, I could do this. I think that works a little bit better. Oh, you see the YouTube thing back there. If I do this and they deem it's too close to the song that I'm teaching you, or there's too many, something about it triggers it, because I'm not going to play the song. I'm going to play the song on guitar and I may sing it a little bit, but I'm not going to play the recording of the song. Or if I have to, for my sake, if you ask me a question like, what does this do? I'm like, oh shoot, I got to listen to it. I'm going to mute you and I'm going to play it, and it'll be some dead space. Okay. And I may even cut that out later. I can probably do that, but too much work. Just not going to do it. But if they flag it for copyright, basically, as long if I contest it, which would be wrong because it's not my song, and I lose, that's a strike, and you get 3 strikes and you're out. If I don't contest it, then they monetize it, but send the money to the person that performed and wrote the song. Which in that case, they may put 500 ads in the video, which I hate. So I'll know right away, probably, or I'll know within a day, 24 hours, of whether they're gonna flag it. Okay. If they do, I'm not gonna do any more of these. It's not worth it. The thing I'm curious about, and Joseph made me think of this, reminded me about this, is okay, fine, you can have the royalties from the video, because what do I usually make on these live streams? I mean, if it gets to 1,000 spins, which is rare for my live stream, but if it gets to 1,000 views, I might make $4 to $5. So the money I make if I make anything from doing this, is from you guys. But that's the thing, is, are they going to take that money? That's what I don't know. So I'm glad Joseph gave something. If they flag this and then they take the money and I don't get Joseph's money, then I'll know definitely don't do this. What's the point? I hate to make it about money. It's just, I mean, it's still a good point, but I don't know that it's, because it's not what I normally do on my channel, it wouldn't be driving people to my channel. Or if it drove them to my channel, they would immediately unsubscribe because I wouldn't be teaching a lot of songs. Does that make sense? Okay, now, Dennis, what's going on? Oh, put up a Discord link. Thank you. Sorry about that. I can do that. Hey, we already got a quorum. So the Discord, you can go there, and all my past lessons, any diagrams, anything, PDFs, scans. Oh, thank you, David Sellers. Now I'm worried if I teach a song and they take all that money. It's like, guys, I'm sorry, you gave the money to the artist. Well, that's just fine. Although, another clue. Okay, I got a 12 string and a capo. Another clue is the artist is no longer with us. All right. So, all right. So if you have a capo, I'm assuming you all have capos. I'm a big fan of capos. If you don't, click on one of my links below, either the Amazon links or the Sweetwater links, and go order a capo, and then I'll get a little piece of that. I get I think from Sweetwater, they give me 5% or something. It's pretty good. I even have capo links down there below, so you can specifically click on those. This was given to me. This is a G7. This was given to me at the NAMM show. I was at the G7 booth, and one of the guys there, this is an Australian company, he recognized me from my channel, which was really cool. And so he gave me several capos. Now everybody's chipping in. Thanks, guys. Everybody, and this is brilliant, and it actually works pretty good, okay? There's a problem with capoing a 12 string. If I get out a normal capo, let's see, if I get out this shove, it's perfectly, I mean, there's an arc to it, because there's a radius to it, as there should be, unless you're using a classical guitar capo. Classical guitar capos should be completely flat, because classical guitar fretboards are really flat. Now this radius is pretty, I forget, the bigger the number, the flatter so it's a pretty big radius. If I put this on here, and here's another clue, it's going on the first fret. Anybody guessing yet? See that? See, remember, the way a 12 string is strung is octave strings for the bottom 4 strings, and in unison on the top 2, all right? So the thing is, the way you get those octaves is to have a fat string and a skinny string. And that makes it a lot easier to tune. You don't want to tune a fat string up an octave, or try to tune a skinny string down an octave, okay? It's just not going to work. So you have skinny string, fat string, skinny string, fat string, skinny string, fat string, skinny string, fat string, essentially. And everybody always breaks the high G string because it's tuned all the way up to, it's tuned up to this note. And it's usually about a similar gauge as an E string, maybe a little, I think there's a 9 right here. You could put an 8 on there. But if you listen to this, buzzy, okay, buzz, dead, great, dead, good. So you really, to use a capo, especially on the first fret of a 12 string, Uh, they give you a plaque then the axe. I hope not. Um, they are cutting some subscribers. They're going through and doing that, but they do that periodically. So no, we're not learning John D, but that may come. There's some great John Denver songs. Okay. So what G7 did is they, can you see that? Let's see, how can I get a white background behind this? Hold on a second. You see that? See that, how it's beveled? Freaking brilliant. And the other thing, nice thing about that is it really makes it drop into place really easy. It just fits right where it's supposed to go, and then you just clamp it on. Hopefully, I got it on pretty good. Amazing. Amazing. I mean, brilliant. I don't think I ever would have thought of that. So it's not a cheap capo. I think in fact, I think it's a Newport is what the type, they call it a Newport capo. I think it's got this little crank here, little tightener, and it's kind of like a shove in a lot of ways. You can adjust it, and it'll, like this one I just leave like this. We're going to capo in two positions. We're going to capo there's two different guitar parts. We're going to capo at the first fret and the third fret. We're going to learn about transposing. Okay, you ready? We got enough. Nope, we got enough people here. You're gonna hear the song in it right now. Here we go. Ready? I'm not going to sing it. I'm just going to play it. You'll know though. Great song. And that's essentially the entirety of the harmony. It's a G7. Hold on a second. Let me write it down. Pepper's asking what type of capo. It's a G7. Let me look it up real quick. So hopefully that wasn't enough to trigger the shoot, what am I looking for? Okay. I think it's called a Newport is a G7th Newport 12 string. Here's the G7th, but I want the 12 string one. Oh, did they ever release it? Not seeing it. See if it's on the website. Maybe they just gave me a prototype or something. But I know I did a video about it, and I put a link in there. Let me see if I can find my video I did. Sorry, I should have been a little more prepared, Pepper. I apologize. But you all know the song now, right? Yes, exactly. It's such a great song. The lyrics are great, and the lyrics are about the valley, which is where I live. I live in the valley. The valley, capital T, capital V. Never thought a million years I'd live in the valley. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I did it a year ago. Oh. Huh. Well, let's see. Here's the, for some reason I didn't put, a link. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, can you buy it? Oh no, they make them in different types too. That's cool. Interesting. All right. Well, let me give you this link, and you can kind of do some research on it. I should be able to find a link for it but I'm not going to waste your time on Amazon. Okay. So let's talk about this song a little bit. One thing, it was the first song written for what was it? Full Moon Rising. Is that the name of the album? I feel like I'm dark. Is it too dark? Get some more light over here. I don't know. Maybe that's too much light now. We okay? Oh no, you're awesome, Junior. Thank you so much. Hey, John. It does, yeah. The Pink Floyd, definitely. And John, we probably won't learn like Hendrix or anything like that because it just take too long. I mean, I could literally spend an hour on each lick from Purple Haze. You know, it's just, and I'd have to relearn it too, which means that's. I mean, if I'm just doing one lick at a time, probably not. That would take a year to learn the whole song. I don't want to do that. I want to just learn fun songs, easy songs, simple songs. It's a 3-chord song. And what are the 3 chords? Let's talk about this, okay? So what chord am I playing here? I'm playing an E, right? But capoed at the 1st fret, that really makes it what chord? Okay? If I were playing this, it makes that F bar chord. So it's like that F bar chord that everybody hates to play is super easy when you put a capo in the 1st fret. Okay? And it's a pure F major, all right? I'm going to add an image here, I think. Oh, I want to spell that right. Browse, desktop. This is the rhythm. We're going to talk about this. Okay. The goal here is for you to learn maybe a little bit about reading rhythms or understanding rhythms, syncopations. This song is syncopated. To understand a little bit more about harmony, to learn some new chords. Again, when I taught privately, I made every teachable moment a teachable moment. I had teachable moments inside of teachable moments. Okay. Yeah, I could talk about that as far as learning, like figuring them out for yourself, Dennis. I can definitely hit on that. Okay. So. And YouTube makes it really easy. I actually pulled up just to see how they were playing this. I pulled up a YouTube video of this, and Tom Petty is playing. That's what he's playing. Mike Campbell is playing up higher. He's using so this is the key of D, and we're talking about capoing and transposing too. So again, I'm going to have teachable moments inside of teachable moments. Hey, who's new? Somebody new? I'm just gonna call you nobody because I kind of want to butcher your name. But thank you for joining us. Okay, so the first chord is just the simple E chord, all right? And so I'm gonna. But it's really F because we're capoed. So I want you to know it as F. Okay, you might as well learn what these chords actually are. Especially if you have perfect pitch, to think of that as E and then play it and go, oh my, no, my ear's telling me it's F. It'll drive you crazy. But I don't think anybody here has perfect pitch. But that's an F chord, all right? Now, the next chord is a B flat 2 chord or a A2 chord, or you could call it, it's an A2 shape. So I'm playing the top 5 strings. Open, 2, 2, open, open. Top 2 strings are open. You could call that a lot of different things. In the olden days, we would call that A2 no third, or A add 9 no third, or something. But really, because we're capoed, it's a B flat. I'm just going to call it a B flat 2. There's no third in there. So technically, okay, JL. Thank you, JL. I'll try to remember that in JL. So there is technically no third in that chord. We have a root, a B flat, an F, which is the fifth, another B flat, which is a root. We have a C, which is that second, and we have another F. So we have two roots, two B flats, and two fifths, which are the Fs, and one C. If I wanted to make this like a, with this, the major third in it, see the thing about this, when there's no third, you could use this chord as a substitute for A major, or you could use it as a substitute for A minor. Okay, or in this case, B flat major and B flat minor. So that B flat 2 chord, we don't have a, in this case, we're not going to have a third in it, but I don't want to call it B flat 2, no third. I just feel like that's kind of stupid. We can apply that it's we know it's a B flat major chord because we're in the key of F. All right, just so you know, we're in the key of F. And to touch on Dennis's thing, okay, here's tip number 1 for trying to figure out songs. Okay, and let me write out this chord now. So we have B flat 2, and it's X 0 2 2 0 0. All right, that's this shape, and that's with the capo at the first fret. I'm going to say that every time so people don't go, well, that's not B flat 2, that's an A2. No, that's got a capo at the, but I don't want to go 1 3 3. No. We're pretending like the capo's not there and it's just a new tuning, okay? So one of the tricks to figuring out a song, and we've talked about this before, is to try to figure out what key it's in. And you're like, well, I don't have a clue. Well, but as you're messing around trying to find a note, think about what note does a song start on. That might be the key. Not always the key. Songs start on the 4 chord, songs start on the 5 chord. But in this case, the song starts on the 1 chord. And I'm just telling you that now. You don't know that yet, but I can know that that's 1 4 4 1 5. So I know we've got that. Okay. And so what you're going to need to do is know a little bit of music theory, but you can map it out on. If you're good at math, you can figure it out, and we can talk about this more in detail later. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Once you figure out the key, this is huge, giant, because you have 12 possible notes. Okay, and if you put a major or minor chord on either one of those, oops. You have 24 possible chords, all right? But if you figure out what key a song is in, you can eliminate 75% of those for the most part. Chances are, if it's a pretty simple song, if it's a very complex song or very riffy song, this is not going to work. But if it's just a chord song like this is, like Free Falling, then you pretty much got 6 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that now it's just a matter of figuring out which one are they playing in each section. When you hear the chord change, what chord are they playing? Are they playing the 1? Are they playing the 5? Are they playing the 4? And there's percentages to each one of those chords. There's even websites that will tell you how many songs have the 1 chord. It's funny because I was watching Rick Beato do a video on two chord songs. Did you see that one? And he thinks of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, which is a great song. He thinks of that as being 1 and major flat 7. I think of it as being a 4/5 progression, right? Right? He's thinking of it as being key of G. I'm thinking of it being the key of C, but it never goes to the C chord. Because I don't think you have to ever go to the 1 chord. I don't think that's any requirement. So it's just funny how he thinks, and we thought differently about that song in particular. But I taught that. That's one of my. if you want to go to my website, I've got 3 different or my YouTube channel. I got 3 different videos on 2 songs, or 5 songs using 2 chords. It's a great way to kind of get started if you're a real beginner and you want to have some simple songs to just kind of sit around the campfire and play. I'll tell you what, my favorite times playing guitar, it's not even close, is sitting around a campfire doing songs and having people sing and singing songs. That's my favorite. It's like, and that's something everyone can do. You know, yeah, I can shred, but, you know, shredding is okay, you know, whatever. I mean, I love playing guitar. It's what I do for a living, you know. It's good to like what you do. But I definitely really love those moments when you're sitting around a campfire, sitting with a group of people and singing. I don't do it enough. You would think, oh, I bet you, in fact, I kid you not, Chuck Norris came up to me after church. I was leading worship at my church one time, and Chuck Norris came to me. I haven't told you this story yet. And he came up to me and said, because somehow he knew my wife was singing with me. Maybe I said something during the service. I don't remember. But he just went, I bet your house is just always full of music. And then he roundhoused me. I was like, oh my God. It was pretty cool, you know, have Chuck Norris come up and go, man, I bet your house is just full of music all the time. And it's just not. We don't do it we don't really, it's sad. We did it, actually, Emma was here with her boyfriend and Christmas time, and I pulled out the porch and Rumors of War songs, and Beth and I sang some of those. We hadn't sung together in probably 2 years doing that kind of stuff. So that's just, it's sad, but it was fun. That was fun, but it's even more fun when you're just playing like songs like Free Fallin'. Okay. Now, there's two options here for this A2 chord. Okay, the B flat 2 chord. I got to call it what it is. Okay. So don't be too confused. This is B flat 2 because of the capo. You can play it with these 2 fingers, so you can go woo, you know, rock and roll. Or you can play it with these 2 fingers. If you play with these 2 fingers, you're all set up to go to the B sus chord. And that's what he plays. He does not play a B chord. He plays a B sus chord. So it's E, F, B flat, and that's not that hard. If you can get from A, see, you can play it this way. I think that makes more sense. So probably go ahead and play it with your 2nd and 3rd finger. All right. So play that F to B flat 2. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he came to me. He wanted to talk to me. Chuck Norris did. It was funny. And he had 2 little. I think he had twins or something. I mean, this would have been about almost 20 years ago. He's a Valley guy too. He started out. He opened a karate studio in the Valley. I think, you know, Cobra Kai. You know, for all I know, there could be some correlation between Karate Kid and Chuck Norris, as far as like whoever wrote the story may have studied karate at Chuck Norris's studios or something like that. But then he opened a chain up. So he had a chain in the Valley of California. I don't remember this. It's kind of before my time. He had a chain of karate studios or martial arts studios in the Valley called Chuck Norris, whatever, you know. And okay. Now the next chord is a B sus. All right. And the way you finger this is the first finger is on the 5th string on the 2nd fret, and this is actually a C sus. Okay. Then 3rd finger. It's gonna be the hardest chord, but you're basically making a power chord. Then you've got the 3rd finger on the 4th fret, pinky on the 4th fret, open top 2 strings. Again, when I say 4th fret, I'm counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not counting from the nut. I'm counting from the capo is the new nut. All right. Why would I not call? Because the B flat's in the bass. So I got B flat F, B flat C F. It's a B flat chord. The bass is playing B flat too. In fact, you can see the rhythm there. I just did this morning so you could see the rhythm. 2, just a reminder, I may get, the doorbell may ring. I got to turn on my notifications here because, okay. Turn up my volume. Because I'm expecting my MacBook Pro and I have to sign for it. So this one's a little bit tough to get to. You'll just have to practice it. You're going to it from the E shape, okay? So we're going from the E shape to the B shape. And one of the things I tell, you know, there we go. One of the things I often will say is, you know, maximize your practice time. So the struggle isn't going to be going from necessarily from the F to the B flat 2. Yeah, not playing the F root, no. Yeah, did I mess up and not X out that bottom string, Sam? When I wrote out the chord? Where's my, oh, there it is. No, I X'd it out, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So this chord is going to be, this is C sus, all right? And I can tell you what that means. C sus is shorthand for C suspended fourth. It used to be C sus 4. You don't really ever have any other kind of sus. So you might as well just call C, you know, a sus 4 chord sus, and it saves you. Trust me, the reason you have this shorthand in chord notation, in chord, chord notation, whatever, is when you're writing, you need to get this stuff down fast so you don't lose your ideas, okay? Or in my case, when I was teaching students, I had 30 minutes to sometimes figure out a song. They bring a record and I put the needle down and I'm trying to figure out the song and get it on paper and have them playing it in 30 minutes. And that's really difficult. So as you will notice that I'll spend 2 hours on the song today. So, but I'm going into great detail on this and trying to give you lots of things to learn from it. From one song, you can learn a lot, all right? We're going to talk about root 1, 4, 5 chords and all that stuff too. So we're going to call this C sus. And again, I'm going to get into what that is. So we're going to have X, and it's going to be 2, 4, 4, 0, 0. Essentially what you're doing is you're making a power chord at the second fret, and you're leaving the top 2 strings open. If you take that up 2 frets, you've got D minor 7, which is really cool. I can mess around with that shape up and down the neck all day long. Love that sound, especially on a 12 string. It just sounds glorious. It just reminds me of like riding horses in the Wild West out in the desert or something, you know, galloping through the desert on a horse. Oh, cool. Nice. Oh, shoot. Was it JL? LJ. LJ. I can't remember already. I already forgot. Hopefully, if you're a regular, I'll probably remember. No promises. Okay, so now we have F to B flat 2, and then B flat 2, quickly back to F, and then up to the C sus. Okay, so what is a sus chord? So normally a C major chord would be C, E, G. Okay, but sometimes you want to create maybe a little mystery, a little bit of sus stands for suspended. So you want some suspension or some suspense. It's like a sus chord creates a little bit of tension that wants to be resolved. Okay, now there's also a chord called C4, and that, believe it or not, I started writing it that way because I didn't have another way to write it. C sus 4, or simplified C sus, is just C, F, and G. So the 1, 4, and the 5 of C. C, F, G. Don't worry. There won't be a quiz on this. Everybody take a sip. If I say, that's one of our drinking game rules. If I say there won't be a quiz on this, you get to take a sip. But I may say this again, either later today or in some future song, And then at that time you might go, oh, it makes sense. Okay. But I could play C, E, C, E, F, and G all at the same time. And that would not be a sus because you have a third, you have an E in there. A sus would not have a third, it would just be the C, F, G. But if you put the third in there, you get this. And I love that chord. Right? Or I think, it's just a great sounding chord because it has that E and the F rubbing against each other. And notice how bad they sound when you just play those two notes. I love that about music. It's like, I mean, it sounds cool. It's kind of like 2 octaves up of, it's that half step that's in Jaws, right? That's a great sound. I mean, it's cool, but it's, when you play them together, it's very dissonant. But when you bring in the rest of the chord, it's just beautiful. Okay, but he's not doing that chord. He's doing a sus. All right, now Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty wrote this song. It was the first song, Jeff Lynne produced the record. It was the first song written for Full Moon Rising. I can't remember if that's the name. Shoot, what's the name of the album? Have the greatest hits. So the hardest change here, and that's the entirety of the song, okay? Part of the reason why I picked this song, because it was a pretty easy song. We're going to do a very different song next week. I've already picked it out. Okay, and I'm going to try to mix up eras. This is a fairly, I wouldn't say modern song, but this is 99? Or is this 89? I can't remember now. I should know this. Exactly. So sus means swapping the 4 for the major third and in a major chord. You could also say a minor sus. I could say C minor sus. You can't tell the difference. C sus, C minor sus would technically sound the same. If I put the 4 in, I would call that a C minor 4, just like I call this a C4. But if I played C minor, and again, I'm playing C minor, I'm taking into consideration the capo, but I'm actually telling you what the actual chord is, not what it looks like, okay? B flat sus 2, well, just B flat 2 is this, okay? B flat 2, again, was this. So I'm going to write out all the chords here. F was 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. B flat, I'm just going to call it B flat 2. You're going to keep it simple, and that's X. So nothing on, don't play the bottom string. And then 0, 2, 2, 0, 0. And then the C sus is, you could call it a B flat sus 2 if that makes you comfortable. You know, that's fine. Yes, exactly right. Bruce, yeah, John, yeah, exactly right. I was going to talk about that in a second here. That's part of what makes this, and it's very imitated, okay? But that's part of what makes this song, I think, really popular, is kind of that droney thing. Because if you'll notice, on all of those chords, the top 2 strings are open. The F is 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. B flat 2 is X, 0, 2, 2, 0, 0. And the C sus is X, 2, 4, 4, 0, 0. Okay, why do I sound like the Grouch? So I'm going to play the B flat 2 this way. And then I'm going to play it. And notice I'm bringing my thumb around. If you can't do that, if you need the thumb back there to get the angle you need to get the chord right, then you're just going to need to be a little bit more precise with your right hand and not hit the bottom string. Part of the thing is my technique's good, or not my technique, but I've been playing guitar long enough that I can make this work. Tom is calling it a B flat, yeah, but B flat 2, yeah, B flat sus 2. A B flat sus 2, I guess, because the implication there is that you're losing the third, so there's no third. So I'm fine with either, Sam. It doesn't matter. But I would never, ever in a billion years think of it as an inverted F sus chord. Okay, because basically, if I got rid of the two and just play B flat, would you think of it as a B flat, an inversion of a F sus chord? I don't think you would. You would think it was 1 4 1 5, right? So yeah, no, that's way overthinking it. It's not that kind of thing. If I were going, yeah, but it's not. I'm not doing F sus. It's the bass player's playing B flat. You know, the whole song is B. In fact, when we go to the other, what Mike Campbell plays on the song, then you'll really be able to see the difference between the chords. So, okay. Well, we got a bot. See, I don't think it matters what we call these lessons. The bots are going to show up no matter what. Bad Moon Rising. Thank you, JLLJ. So, okay, so those are the chords. And again, when you're practicing something, you've got to struggle, like going from this F chord to this C sus chord. Yeah, and so I know a lot of people play it with the capo, and that's kind of what's going on. But again, it's B flat in the bass. You'll see in a second when we go up to the next capo position. What you want to do is just make an exercise: one strum of the F chord and one strum of the C sus chord. Okay, and make special note of what your fingers are doing. All right, the paths that they are taking. For example, the first finger. Let's start with the first finger. The first finger is here on the first fret of this third string, and it's going down to here. You can even practice that. Okay, and then so we got right. You could even practice all three of those chords, but if you're just really having problems with the F to the C, so notice what that finger does, okay? And again, I don't want you to overthink this, so this may be kind of skewing towards overthinking, and I apologize. But the third finger is just going to go up 2 frets. So the third finger is going to stay on the 4th string, okay? So when you go from the E shape to this B flat or the B sus shape, or the F chord action, whatever it actually is, F chord to the C sus, your third finger is just, you can practice that. Now you can maybe, if you want, you can practice the first. That's actually hard. Because it's, and then the second finger is just leaving, and the pinky is going down. So you can almost think of like going to a sus chord here, F sus, but sliding those 2 up, and then that. You don't want to do that. That's not what's happening. That's cool. It's a cool song idea right there. Thank you, Tom Petty. Let's see. Do I need likes? How many likes do I have? I need that affirmation in my life. Oh, we got 24 likes. That's not bad. We've got 44 viewers right now. That's amazing. Okay. So that's one of the things you want to do. So you turn a part of the song. You know, the song goes. This really goes by very quickly. So you could do that. Could be your exercise. Actually, that makes a perfect exercise. Just. One of the keys to practicing, though, is to go slow and don't make mistakes. So go just fast enough before you start making mistakes and get it down. Do it, get it 5 times, maybe 10 times in a row without making mistakes. Maybe get as clean as you can get sounding. In my case, I bring my thumb around so I can deaden that bottom string. Because on 12 string, you can't deaden the lower string with your index finger like you can, because you see that I'm deadening 1 string, but it's hard to deaden 2 strings with that finger. See, that string's going to ring out. So I bring the thumb around, all right? 89. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, you need a capo. I'm sorry, man. I don't want you to tune your strings up a half step. But if you have an electric, just play it in first position with electric without plugged in so that you're not hearing yourself so much. You're just hearing more of me. Everybody needs to hear more of me. More of me. Why not take more of me? Okay. yeah, Sam. I know how you overthink things. You've been with me here for 2 years now. Yeah, and what did Lukather tell me? Steve Lukather told me what Larry Carlton told him, and that was don't think, play. And I love how Lukather solos. I love how chaotic and frenetic and unpredictable Steve Lukather solos were back in the 80s. I mean, they were just amazing. I transcribed so many of his solos just because I was like, and I even would put at the top of the page, the chaotic stylings of Steve Lukather. I kid you not. Okay. Hey, Art, good to see you. Yes, thank you, Art. Everybody like me. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. And check out, I've got 700 videos. I got so many videos. I got videos on whatever you want to know. Well, just guitar related anyway. Some gear reviews. I don't do a lot of gear reviews, although I do need to do another one. What was it that I got recently? Oh, I got the Ibanez 7-string. I don't know. I might do a review of that. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I'm using it a lot. Okay. So that's what Tom Petty plays for the entirety of the song, really. There's a point at the very end of the song where it's kind of muted. And you're driving eighth notes. But rhythmically, he's playing. Okay, so let's look at the rhythm. Okay, now down there at the bottom here. I'll make this a little bit bigger. This is the rhythm. I can put this up high because, dang it. This is such a hard, not a non-intuitive software. All right. So I'm going to just talk to you about this rhythm here. And again, get ready to take a sip. There will not be a quiz on this. So don't worry if you don't understand this at the end of my description of this rhythm. You probably already know it because you know the song, all right? But I like for the understanding to go a little deeper. So in a way, I'm a lot like Sam. So let's see. Hey, Gary, what's going on? My hair looks like you just climbed. Yeah, it totally does. I pretty much just get up. I think I actually ran some water through it, but yeah. No, I like product. Like product is better in like 3 or 4 days later, you know. Gets nasty and stuff. So, yes. Yeah, okay, and that's a great question, John, because a lot of people would tap like bump, bump. They'll tap their foot along bump, bump, bump. No. You got to practice tapping 1, 2, 3. Everybody tap with me. 1, 2, 3. You can tap on your guitar like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see that 4/4 there? That's 95% of the songs that you know are in 4/4. All right. Unless you're really into Celtic music, then maybe it's 50%. The other 50% are 6/8. Okay, but let's just keep it simple here. So 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What that 4/4 means? Okay, it means 4 quarter notes. So 4 1/4, right? Remember fractions when you did fractions when you were a kid? 4/4 would be equal to 1. 3/3 would be equal to 1. 2 halves would be equal to 1. 8/8 would be equal to 1. Well, in music terms, we have half notes, which would be 2. We have quarter notes, which would be 4. We have eighth notes, which would be 8. And that's the bottom number. Okay, so the bottom number is what are we counting? Oh, we're counting quarter notes. Well, how many do we have? We have 4. Okay, so 4/4 equals 1. Now, we have 6/8 is a very common rhythm. So 6/8 of 1 equal 1? No. So really, to say this equals 1 is not necessary to think about because it really does. technically 4/4 equals 1 bar of music. But you can think of it as also equaling a whole note, which would be 4 beats. A whole note would be this: 1, 2. Get your F chord ready. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum. 2, 3, 4. We don't have any whole notes up there. Okay? We have half notes. You see those notes there that are hollow on the inside? Those are called half notes. Those get 2 beats each. So if we run the numbers here, that first note is a quarter, but there's a dot after it. And what a dot does is it adds 50% of the value to that note. So a quarter plus 50% is another eighth, right? So a quarter and an eighth. So that's going to equal a beat and a half, because 1 beat is a quarter note. Again, don't worry, there's no quiz on this. Jail. What would be the tuning without a capo? I'm worried if you tune up without the capo, it would be F, because I don't want you to break strings when you tune up or hurt your neck, because it might put too much tension on your neck or on your saddle. So I'm not sure how cheap your guitar is, but I would never turn any of my guitars up a half step. So you might want to pick up a capo. Well, if you don't have a capo, you can always take a pencil. When I was a kid, I used to take a pencil and like a rubber band, and I would take a rubber band around one end and a rubber band around the other. It would never work on a 12 string, but it might work on a nylon or even a steel string. But we're talking about the rhythm here. So that note there with the flat sign in front of it, okay, that's a B flat. So it goes F to B flat. Okay, that's the rhythm that we're seeing. It's the rhythm of the song, and that's basically the bass line movement or the root movement of the chords. That eighth note, you can see that tie. That thing's called a tie, that little arch that connects it to that. That's because we're not hitting that B flat twice. We're not going. We might do that to add emphasis at some point in the song, but really the rhythm is, okay? So you're gonna want to 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. You're gonna want to tap your foot on the beats, downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's happening is the chord is changing on the and of beat 2, okay? Beat 1 is that first note, 1, and then 2 happens after 2 happens, and there's nothing on it because we have that dot that's extending the value of this another eighth note, okay? And I'm probably way making this too complicated. 2 and, okay? 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. You can count 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2. Play along with me. JL, sorry, if you want to, you could play F bar chord to a B flat. So you could do this. If you want to transpose, you can play that. You could do bar chords if you can do bar chords. Right. Nothing else matters in 6/8. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. So that's what that rhythm looks like. You know what it sounds like. And then if I were to add a beat here, do I have drums anywhere? Yeah. So I could create a drum beat. What's the tempo up here? Oh, wrong. Definitely a lot slower. Tempo is, let's say 82 maybe? That's probably too slow. Maybe not. I can play much better than that. Too far away from the keyboard. So what I'm doing is I'm going to create a drum beat that has that rhythm. 2, 3. I'm doing the kick. There's There's the kick rhythm, okay? Quantize it. 2, 4. Now I could add, that's maybe a little slow. I could add a hi-hat on all 8 notes. Okay, let me quantize that. Okay, now I'm going to add snare on beats 2 and 4. Okay, now I got a groove I can play with. And how close is that to the tempo? Not bad. All right, so the second half of that rhythm is kind of written weird. I don't know. You could write it a couple different ways, but basically it's 2 8th notes, 1 and. So if we got rid of that second 8th note, it would be the same rhythm. So you check out, I could simplify the song. It wouldn't sound like the song, but I could simplify this song by going. Right? So it'd be the same rhythm in both bars. 1 and 3, 4. 1. Yeah, John, you could think of the dot as being the no, 6/8 would not be the same as 6/8 would be similar to 3/4 in some ways, but not really. It implies a different thing. That's why we have different meters, so you can imply different feels. But yeah, the dot technically on that first note, if you calculate where that note would fall, yeah, it definitely happens. That accounts for the downbeat of 2. But then you run out of note because on the and of 2 is that B flat. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, and then so what you have there in beat in the second bar is you have 1 and. Okay, everybody say that with me. 1 and. You can go 1 and 1 and. Okay, we can tap it too. Go 1 and. That's that second rhythm. Again, the ties are combining the rhythmic values of notes. Okay, so you've got a B flat there, and it goes down to F, and that F is tied to another 8th note F. Now I could have put a quarter note there, so you would have an 8th note, a quarter note, and an 8th note tied to a half note. I don't know, both are kind of weird looking, but they're just a rhythm. The cool thing about syncopations, and this is syncopation, this is syncopated. If this song weren't syncopated, it might sound like this. Not the song. Those are all on downbeats. That's boring, right? Syncopations give life and energy to music, and emotion, but energy. I feel there's so much more energy to that. It's like the 16th note pushes that like funk bands and Earth, Wind and Fire. It's like. All those upbeat pushes, they kind of push you forward. They're like you're getting to the next chord sooner than you thought you were going to get to, and that's kind of what happens here. It's subtle. I mean, because by the time you heard this song, you've heard a million songs that had already done this rhythm. So it wasn't like it was a new rhythm to you, but it still creates this 1, 4. You're getting to the 4 chord sooner than you thought. And again, this is all stuff the reason I'm going into such great detail is because this is all stuff you can use to apply to songwriting. There's nothing copyrightable about this rhythm. All right. All right, so um, so um, will I please provide the B flat and C fingering so I know in the key of F? Oh, the fingerings. Oh, okay. I haven't really talked about that, have I? So, what's the best way to do this? Well, I mean, I can just show them to you. So the way I'm playing, I'm using my second and third finger for the B flat chord. So open. So I'm not on the bottom string. Then open, two, open, open. But I'm using second and third. And then for the C sus chord, I'm basically making what's called a power chord. You know. Okay, that's a power chord. But I'm leaving the top two strings open. Which was it? Who was it? That John was talking about the droniness of that, which is another thing that makes it just sound familiar, pleasant. You know, all the chords. Yeah, go Rams! All the chords have similar. You know, they have a similar harmony to them. So I'm playing that with my first finger, my third finger, and my pinky on the same fret as my third finger. So I'm basically second fret, 4, 4, open, open. And if I played it without a capo, at the second fret, it would be B sus. But this is C sus. Hopefully that helps. Let me know, Lena. I don't have diagrams for it. I didn't do that kind of work in advance. I probably should have, but... Okay. And then, and again, just a reminder, this is an experiment. All right. I should probably change this. It's an experiment. If I get tagged, if I get flagged on this song, then I probably won't do it again. And I have no idea if they flag it, I'm not going to contest it because it isn't my song, right? I've contested every time I've been flagged for copyright infringement. I've always contested because it's always been my song, and I'm like, no, that's my song. I wrote it. Or it's really on the jam tracks. I have to wait 30 days before I can post the jam tracks. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, and that's the positions, but that's not necessarily the fingerings. But Sam, thank you so much for doing that. And Holly, everybody's jumping in. But the fingerings are different. That would be what fingers we're using, and that would be included if I did chord diagrams, which I didn't get around to doing. So, bot. So that rhythm is throughout the entirety of the song. The only time where it really kind of varies from that is at the end, where it just fills that out with solid eighth notes. It's like... But just power chords. That only happens a couple times through, though. It's not very. Sorry. So B flat would be like the A chord, and then C would be the B major chord. So you play like an A major chord for a B flat. C. Fortunately, he doesn't do that. This is a hard chord to play. Fortunately, even Tom Petty doesn't want to work that hard. Okay, so again, we know that this is an F chord, right? So that's the first chord in the song. We're in the key of F, it works out. And again, when you're talking about trying to figure out songs, the first thing you want to try to do is figure out what key you're in, and that will eliminate, generally in most scenarios or many scenarios, 75% of the possible other chords. Now, if you're trying to learn a Beatles song, you're going to probably want to have some secondary dominance knowledge, things like that, to kind of go, oh, okay, it's probably going to this chord or whatever. You know, the other thing is there's so many places that have tab and, you know, there wasn't the internet when I was a kid. So I had to figure things out for myself. Or I had to spend money and buy a book. Or sheet music. Remember, that used to be a thing. It's still a little bit of a thing, because you can still buy sheet music online. It's, you know, PDFs and all that. And I've done that before for things that I was like, God, what the heck are they doing? So, yeah, and this B shape, which is the C chord, is a little bit easier. It's hard on a 12 string. It's a little bit easier because you are using a capo, so it makes the strings a little lower. It makes them at fret height instead of at nut height. And when that happens, you don't have so far to go to make the chord. So it makes that B chord, the dreaded B chord, that son of a B chord, a little bit easier. And I did videos on that too. So if you want to know, son of, yeah, let's see if I can I get a link right here? I have to click on this. Okay, here's the link, copy link. Here's my son of a B chord. So if you play this shape with the capo on, you're going to get a C major chord. But again, Tom Petty doesn't do that in this song. Okay, I'm going to be real curious if we're going to get flagged. If we don't get flagged, we're going to have fun because we're going to be learning a lot of different songs. And again, we're going to be learning them with this theory stuff. So F is the 1 chord. Okay, if we look at a major scale, okay, we can give each one of those notes a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the most common chords are the 1 and the 4 and the 5. In this case, F, B flat, and C. And that's exactly what we have in the song. We have F, B flat, F, C. And if you want to play that and practice looking, you don't have to necessarily understand that rhythm rhythm right here, right? You don't necessarily have to understand it. You just need to be able to play it. And then when you play it, if you kind of just look at it while you do it, you're going to go, oh, you know, that actually kind of makes some sense. So now you're starting to learn to read music a little bit, which just gives you more options in life. Lena will tell you, Lena's a good reader, but she probably doesn't read for guitar really so much. But Lena could read this rhythm in a second. That would take her no time on the piano. Okay? And so again, let's clap this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum. And then bum, bum, bum. If you know the song, you know the rhythm. Bum, bum, bum. But those arches are called ties, and they combine notes. They combine the rhythmic values of notes. Bum, bum, bum. If we were to play every note written there, get rid of the ties, it would be this. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, that's not the song. But you have those ties in there, and that makes those notes kind of carry over. And that's a lot of times when you see ties, you kind of go, you can know that there's probably going to be some syncopation. That's syncopation. There's 2 kinds of rhythms: syncopated rhythms and simple rhythms. And simple rhythms, like if we were to play this with no like syncopations, it would sound, you know. It's like a white choir trying to sing a black gospel song. It always gets squared on the edges. It was always like, oh, I'm so sorry. So fortunately, that doesn't really happen anymore. But back in the day, I remember back in the 70s and 80s, you know, listening to white choirs try to sing gospel music. It was like, oh, you took out all the syncopations. I was like, no. All right. So the song is 1, 4, 4, 1, 5. All right. So he's only using 3 chords in the whole song: B, F, B flat, and C. I've done several videos on songs with only 2 chords. 3 chords, there's a lot more songs with 3 chords. I would have an endless supply for that videos with 3 chords. But there's something about going to that 4 chord. You know, you're creating a little bit of tension there. It resolves, and it creates more tension by going to the 5. And one of the ways, and I forget who asked me this, was it Sam, or about how to figure out music. If the first chord, in this case, the first chord is the key. Not always. We could have started on 4. 12 string sounds so good. So a song doesn't necessarily start, all songs don't necessarily start on their 1 chord. I would say maybe 50% of songs start on a tonic, the 1 chord, and that would tell you the key, and that would get you on your path. But most songs, not all songs, most songs want to end on the 1 chord. So if you can imagine what would be the last chord of the song, if you could, if you're listening to the song and you go, well, if this song were to end, boom, because some songs fade out, you don't ever hear the end. Modern songs don't fade out so much, they just tend to end, but they also don't tend to end and hold a chord out. But you might go, like when he ends his song live in concert, he probably ends on the 1 chord. Okay? And so you can go, oh, the 1 chord, F. Oh, so it is an F. It starts on an F, and it probably would likely end on an F, so we're in the key of F. That can be a really good help for trying to figure out, like I said, figure out the key of the song. Once you figure that out, you can eliminate 75% of the possible major and minor triads. Okay, I'll talk more about that another time. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do Mike Campbell's part. Okay, we're going to, wow, I've gone longer than I thought. We're going to transpose with the capo. Okay, so pay attention. You may not understand this, but we'll do it again, I'm sure. But this will have no, it's just not. Are you OCD? Kathy? No, I just put it on without looking at it. So yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it's the best to be up against the fret, but not on the fret. But if those had been buzzy, I would have moved it, but they weren't. So. Uh-oh, buffering. Sorry, I think there was a slight buffer there for a second. So, Mike Campbell plays a different guitar part. And in some ways, it's the guitar part that you probably are more familiar with, all right? It starts with this, but when the chorus comes, they go to this part. And what we're going to do is, so we're playing, what chord shape are we starting with? We're starting with an E shape, right? And we're going to move up to the next, so we're moving the capo up a whole step. Two frets is a whole step, right? This is 1 fret is a half step, 2 half steps equals a whole step. So I'm going to move the capo up 2 frets, or 1 whole step. So our chords were F, our chord shapes were E, A, and B. Okay, we're going to need to transpose those. We're moving the capo up a whole step. We need to transpose. We're moving the capo up a whole step. We need to transpose our chords down a whole step. So this is a great tool if you're going to jam along with somebody else. Okay, if I were to maybe go further than that, I might go up a perfect fourth and lower the chords a perfect fourth. We're going to do a whole step because that's what Mike Campbell does. So we're going to capo up a whole step, but we're going to move the chords down a whole step. So what are the chords we're going to move? We're going to play. Oh, thank you. God bless you, Holly. I appreciate that. Always, always good to drive people to the other videos, get those spins on it. And so, like, probably my second or third most popular video is one of those 5 songs with 2 chords. It's so weird, though, because one has hundreds of thousands of views and the other one has like 1,500 views or something. It's like, what the heck? I don't understand. I mean, maybe the chords were cooler on the first one. I don't know. And maybe the first one was the first one. I put links too, you know, in them, but anyway. I should probably put links in the description too. Okay, so let's transpose those those three chords down a whole step. Those, and I'm saying those chord shapes, because that's the shapes we're playing. E, A, B. But we're actually playing F, B flat, F, C, sus. All right. Anybody want to venture a guess? Because we're moving the capo up a whole step, 2 frets. I'm going to do it now. You better have it ready for me. No, we want to go down a whole step. Sam, you went down a half step. We're going up 2 frets, so you need to go down 2 frets. And for Kathy, I'll try to make sure it's straight. Okay. All right. So now if I play those chords, we're going to be in the wrong key. And now it's really high to sing. Because he's singing that A. Because I'm free. Yeah, go down a whole step, Sam. But I'm glad you took a guess. Yes, exactly. Okay, so if I just simply play those chords right now, it's going to sound like it. Good. Keep it real. Good job. Okay. Not quite the chords he's playing, but it's close. He's actually playing the same chords as before. He's playing F, B flat 2, B flat 2, F, C sus. All right? So the F shape is going to be what our very familiar D, but I want you to think of this as an F chord. Why not? You're playing this song, think of it as an F chord because that's what it is. There's, yeah, more sus chords. It's the same, because it wants, you need to make it the same. And I'm free. Okay, so a lot of people play this on like that, but Mike is actually going down to this note there. He's actually playing pretty full. He's playing on a Ricky 12 string. Petty's, I think, playing on a six string acoustic, or maybe a 6. No, he's playing on a 12 string acoustic, and then I think Mike Campbell's playing on a 12 string electric. Rickenbacker. Yes. Beato was talking about he did 3 of his he thought were the best. He said the only good 2 chord songs. I don't know. I'm not gonna make. He's good. He's fine making judgment calls. I don't tend to do that. What? Get out. There's a check after my name. That's awesome. Where did you see? Oh, so and anytime I post it now, it's going to show up as a check. Oh, that's awesome. That's huge. And the reason it's huge is because I make a comment on a Beato video or like on his live stream. They see a check next to my name. They're going to be like, wait, who's this? So there's a better chance of people checking out my videos. I see you. I don't know if that is. Checkmate. Yay. Okay, so that's the first chord. The second chord is B. It's like a G2 chord. So if you play G, if you play a 4-finger G chord, you might play like this. You want to bring this first finger down 2 strings to the 3rd string. Okay, so we're going to have, and we're going to try to deaden that 5th string. It's a little hard on a 12 string to deaden 2 strings instead of 1, but it's going to be 3rd fret, nothing, open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. So you've moved the capo to the 3rd fret now. And let's see. So that's going to be a B flat 2, or, you know, I'm fine with B flat sus 2. I think that makes sense because we do not have a 3rd in this song. There's no 3rd in the song, so we're taking that 3rd down to the 2nd essentially. So don't worry about it, don't overthink that. But it's 3 nothing 0 2 3 3, and that's the 2nd chord. So you're going to go from the F chord to the B flat chord, and then so notice this: the 3rd finger never leaves its spot. See, look, watch my ring finger here. I call it, when you're doing chord progressions like that, I call that an anchor finger. It really makes it a lot easier to kind of get your bearings and learn songs. And oftentimes, the first songs I would teach would have a progression where you could keep that third finger down. And again, it speaks to, if you look at what we have these middle. So JT, or I'm sorry, John. Technically, we're using G shapes. Yeah, we're still in the key of F, but we're using the key. We're in the key of D. We're using D shapes. Yeah, we're in the key of F. Lena, I don't want you to think of this as a D chord. I want you to think of that as an F chord, okay? Because we've moved it up 3 frets. All right. Start to visualize. This is one of the things I talk about with capoing. I can tell the story again about why I did it. So we're all in the key of F, but we're using shapes in the key of D. This is the 1 chord in the key of D. This is the 4 chord in the key, 4th chord shape in the key of D. This is the 5 chord kind of, anyway. Okay, so the 5, the C sus, is played this way. C sus, no third in this one. Nothing, and then open, then 2, 2, 3, open. Now, John, you were talking about the drone, the top 2 notes droning. Well, guess what? We have those 2 notes in all these chords. Remember my third finger's on that note? That's the same as the open when we were playing the open string when we were capoed at the first. That's an F note. And we have the C note. This note's in every one of those chords too. See that? I just played it with this finger instead on the last chord. Yeah, we're using different inversions. And this is a great trick. Okay, remember we took the capo, we figured out the song at the first fret, and then we took the capo and we moved it up 2 frets, a whole step, and we transposed the chords down a whole step, and now you have a totally different, a brighter voice, and this really comes in on the chorus. And Rick Beato talks about one of the things he really likes about this song is he holds out that A note, and it just sounds so great. He said, so he's singing the major 7th over this B flat 2 chord. So he's kind of singing that, but the chord on top is playing a B flat. So it creates this beautiful. Again, when you sing it and you hear them together like that, they're like, that's not beautiful. But when you hear it, you know, whoops. When you hear it in the context of the chord, when you hear it, it's just amazing, you know, and it's such a high pitch. I mean, Sting would sing up to D, I think Roxanne goes up to D. Same rhythms. And I don't think they do very busy rhythms. I think when probably does some of those 16th notes. So if you want to mute all the strings as 2, so do your 8th notes with all downstrokes. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And just try to do the rhythm of the chords. And then you can throw some of those little shuffles in there. And maybe not hit every 8th note. JL, the lowest note is not the key. In this case, the lowest note is B flat. We're in the key of F. Actually, if you're playing a song in the key of D, you don't have a low D on the guitar, so you're playing this. So it's not the lowest note. It's just the 1. 1 doesn't mean it's the lowest, because you can always have on a guitar and piano. You know, the lowest note on a piano is an A. That's my piano right now. So yeah, so you may not have, but the one is the key, but not the lowest note. Just so you know. But that's a good and that's a common thought, and it makes sense. You're like, oh wait, but I thought the lowest. No, it maybe we're in the key of. I mean, right now we're in the key of F. But my lowest note is G in this tuning. And if you were to take that phrase and go, well, the lowest note's a G note, so it must be in the key of G. No. No, we're in the key of F. F is the one in that scenario. So, and that would come with adding up all those notes, going G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. It's like, well, what does that add up to? Okay, well, if I put them in order, okay, well, that would be F major. You would be able to do the math, if you know the formula for a major scale. And we've talked about formulas and things like that. Okay, so what you want to do is this eighth note pattern. You don't want to be down, up on the eighth note. You want to be all down note so that you have the up note available whenever you want to put that little 16th note shuffle in there, okay? You can even do a lot of shuffles. That's a pretty easy chord progression. I would say that one's easier to play than the first chord progression, the one that Tom Petty's playing. The Mike Campbell one's easier to play, I think. But it's just so happy. And then, so what are you going to do when you're playing it? Do you play first position for the verses and second position, third position for the choruses? No. Just pick one or the other. So you could play the first part of the song, even though I don't think Mike's this voicing is in the first verse. She's in. And he sings about streets that I live around. Ventura Boulevard, Ventura Highway. I mean, I thought this would be a fun song to be the first one that we do the mystery song for. Hopefully, and I'll try to do diagrams for future songs. And maybe, okay, here's what I will do. So I don't have diagrams up here anywhere. Okay, I will go sit down on my computer, my laptop, and I will create 6 chord diagrams. Okay, the 3 chords, the F, the B flat 2, and the C sus with the capo at the first fret, and the F, the B flat 2, and the C sus with the capo at the 3rd fret. All right, I'll create all 6 of those, and I'll drag that PDF over to Discord. Okay, so it'll be in the Discord. The link is right here. I think the Discord link is right about there. I'm not sure where it is on your video, but it is at the very top of the chat, and you'll be able to get the John Mayer version. Does he play mandolin on that? Does he change the key at all? It's similar, but no, I'm not going to do the John. And we've done the song once. We're not gonna come back to it. I got a totally different song picked out for next week. And I just thought of another one, so I'm going to write it down here because I just thought of it. Yeah, and some of these, I may do something like Blackbird. Some of these might be a little difficult. It's hard, with the fingerstyle stuff, and then, if I have to create tab for that, I don't know. But we may do that. We may do some finger style. Right now, I'm gonna pretty much concentrate on fairly simple ones that I can just show you. And no worries. Yeah, yeah. The capo 2 position. And I'm sorry, JL, that you don't have a capo. You might, like I said, you might want to order one. I couldn't do it on a. I have a million capos here, including one I got for Christmas. This is a slide capo. Check this out. This is for dobro. I think it's crazy. So it's very brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant simple mechanics, and beautiful brushed stainless steel. That would work on my dobro up there, I think. But when I was a kid, I would take like number 3 pencils, and then I don't have any, and a rubber band, but I would literally kind of do a rubber band wrapped around the pencil like this, and then you'd put a rubber band on one end and then wrap it around the bottom of the neck and then put it on the other end. I might have to do overlap, depending on how big the rubber band was. You got to get a pretty beefy rubber band. And then you might have to, yeah. Yeah, and thank you, Holly. Yeah, when you start to also this whole thing too is really kind of all about seeing the cage shapes. Okay, so remember the caged method, CAGED. Well, what's this? What shape is this? This is an E shape. And what was the next shape of F chord? So this is F chord, but it's an E shape. And then the next F chord is a D shape. And the next F chord is a C shape. It spells out the word caged. Depending, you start on different parts of the word, but this is a E, D, and then we have C, A, G, and then E, D, up the neck. So when you start to study the cage method, if you start to understand the cage method, you'll start to see these shapes a little bit more up and down the neck. And the thing I'm trying to get you to do is not to think of this as a D chord. Okay? I want you to memorize the chords in the capo positions, but don't do all 12. You don't need to, no, just do them as needed, okay? So if you just memorize the names of these 3 chords here, oh, look at that, I just broke a string. Dang it, what string was that? It was the thick G string. So anyway, I was just about finished anyway. I'll change, oh, I don't want to change strings on this thing. It's so funny because I ordered some strings from Elixir years ago, and they instead of sending me a dozen, 2 boxes of 6 string, they sent me 2 boxes of 12 string. I'm like, you guys sent me the wrong string. So I've got so many 12 string sets right now, so it's not a big deal to change them. Okay, yeah, you could totally fake it with the bar chords, but Paul, by the time I'm signed off, you should have ordered a capo from Amazon. Click on the link below or something and order a capo from Amazon real quick and have it at your doorstep. I'm assuming you probably have Amazon Prime. That would be a good thing to have. So, all right. So, yeah. So again, the theory of this song is very, very simple. It's 1, 4, 4, 1, 5. It's just really cool. Oh, you do have capos. Oh, okay, cool. I was afraid somebody wouldn't have it. I'm sure and Paul didn't have a capo. I don't know why I thought LJ didn't have a capo. Okay, Lena, the original key is F for male voice. For female voice, we do the key, well, it just depends. I mean, he sings pretty high. I mean, in fact, so I saw, it depends on your range. Are you a soprano or an alto? But you could totally change the key to fit that. And for example, if you were playing those first 3 chords in first position, you can easily transpose it up to B flat if you want. Just go all the way to the 6th fret and play the same exact shapes. Now you're in the key of B flat. If you don't need to go that high, you could go to A flat at the 4th fret, or you go to G at the 3rd fret, or whatever. I saw Stevie Nicks do it, and she just did it down a half step. So basically, I forget the other guitar player in this is just recently, so it wasn't. It was post when Lindsey Buckingham got kicked out of Fleetwood Mac, which is ridiculous. In my opinion, he is Fleetwood Mac. So, but the but Mike Campbell was playing with Fleetwood Mac because Petty died. So Mike Campbell is actually one of the 2 guitar players now. So they replaced Lindsey Buckingham with 2 guitar players. One was one of the guys that played back years ago with them. Obviously not what's his name, because he just died. The guy that went crazy. All the vampires walking through the valley. Yep, Ventura Boulevard. Yep, I'm not too far from Ventura. I'm in the North Valley. Ventura Boulevard is really the main thoroughfare in the South Valley. I don't know what you would consider the main thoroughfare of the North Valley. Maybe Devonshire, and I'm like a block, like 2 blocks, 3 blocks from Devonshire. So I'm north of Devonshire. Yeah, I've got, oh, thank you, Lena. I've got even more capos. And I'll let you know, guys, if we get flagged and if they take the super chat money, I'll let you know. Because I won't be doing the mystery song thing if we get flagged. Because it kind of makes, well, I might do it if the super chat is happening. But the problem is once the video is up there, they're going to make the money on it, not me. So what's the point? The super chat only happens when we're live. So. And that's super chat is what Lena just did. That's called super chat. Peter Green, thank you. Yeah, Peter Green's the one that died. He was kicked out. Part of the reason they needed Lindsey was because Peter Green was no longer in the band, but he went insane. But no, the guy that's playing. No, but I actually remember that morning because that chopper flew over our house. I heard it. And I was like, it was really weird. It was very, very foggy that morning. But he flew over. If you look at his flight path, you can see it. And they flew right over our house, and then they crashed. They crashed over in, was it Agora Hills, or I can't remember now. It was further west and south of us. But yeah, I don't know why they flew right over our house. They also did circles around Glendale or something, or Burbank. I can't remember. It was really weird when you look at the flight path and where it goes and stuff. And I can't remember why. Anyway, that was a sad morning. I remember when that happened. We all found out at church, and our pastor's a big basketball fan, big Laker fan. Yeah, thank you, David. Appreciate it. Speaking of free falling. So I'll keep you posted on this. I don't think we're going to flag the copyright thing. I really don't. But we'll see. Calabasas. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, Calabasas isn't too far from me, but I mean, it would take me 30 minutes to drive there. But helicopter, it's only 10 minutes away, if that. Thousand Oaks. Yeah. And Thousand Oaks is if you take the Ventura Highway, which parallels Ventura Boulevard, the 101. Basically, you take the 101 north. It's really in the valley. 101 is going east and west, and then it turns north and goes up the coast. That's usually how we go up to like Santa Barbara, or if we go up to San Luis Obispo, we always take the 101. It's a beautiful drive, and but as you're heading, east or west out of the valley, Thousand Oaks and Calabasas are off the 101 out that way. We just went out to. We just stayed at a hotel out in Westlake Village, which is a little before those cities, but it's out that way. So, yeah, thank you, JL. Yes, AJ, yeah, a lot of people played it that way, going from the F to the F sus, not sus 2, but the sus, just the S sus 4. Let me change, let's see, dang it. I'll have to play it on my nylon. Well, yeah, this is tuned to D standard. So You're talking about. So if I put the capo at the 3rd fret, and I'm actually putting it here on the fifth fret because I'm tuned down a whole step. Even more confusing. A lot of people play like that. But if you want to have a fuller sound, because that's really high, that's really what's going on there. So, but it is very drony. You got that going on a lot. So when you play it in the first position, you've got a lot of. So go back to the beginning of this video to get the first position, and then go to a little further in, and you'll get the next capo position. If I had a staff. If I had 1 million subscribers and I had a staff, I would probably have them flag, put markers so that, when he talks about the moving the capo up and then it talks about the rhythm, you could click on all those. That would be awesome if I had someone that did that. But that's a real job because you got to watch me for 2 hours. All right, so I'm going to log out. We do have, I've got a song picked out for next week already. And I'm going to try to make them, we're going to move around a little bit stylistically. We're going to move around a little bit. We're going to move around a little bit decade-wise. Okay. No, your tinnitus would actually make the high notes not notice so much, but the low notes wouldn't be affected so much. Let's see. Oh yeah, happy New Year, happy Lunar New Year, everyone. The year of the tiger. Uh-oh. That makes me nervous. Hopefully it'll be a tame tiger. Yes, you too. Have a great week, AJ. Thank you so much. Bruce, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll see you next Monday at 9 with a new song. Hopefully you got this down. Like I said, I'll sit down right now, Holly, and I'll do the chord diagrams for these 2 positions, and then I'll post that PDF here in a minute. Hopefully, depends on how long it takes me to do it. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. As soon as I end stream, I'll know if I get flagged or not. We'll see. But I am going to put the name of the song in the title. So. Currently, the title says just Mystery Song, but now I'm going to put Free Falling Tom Petty in there. That will help, and I'll put that also in the hashtag, so that'll help draw people to the video. If I can't monetize it though, then I probably won't do any more of these. If they flag it and take away the monetization, I probably will only do the one. I don't know. It's a bummer. We'll see. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah, Zoom was fun the other day. Thank you for doing that. We'll do that again. We won't wait so long to do it again. But we had a good showing. We had a lot of people there. It was good to see your faces. And I afterwards I was talking with Bruce and Holly and Dennis, and I was like, dang, I talked way too much. It's just funny. I don't know what it was. It was like, I have a feeling that as soon as you see my face, you just shut up. Because I stopped talking and it was like dead. It was like, come on, guys, say something. So I was like, and then of course people were asking me questions, which is totally fine. I should have been asking you more questions, but it wasn't really for a lesson or anything like that. It was just to connect. That's why we did that. So, and sorry, John, I don't think you were able to join us because you were probably working, but I tried to make it late enough so you could do it. I did it at 2 or 3, right? 2 o'clock, I think. But so, oh yeah, Sam's a Detroit Tigers fan. I had an aunt that was a Detroit Tigers fan, and she would listen to every game on the radio. She'd sit in her kitchen, had that radio going, and sit in her kitchen and drink her whatever tea or whatever. It wasn't alcohol, I know that. She was a missionary, but but she just loved the Tigers, and I don't think they ever won they may have won a pennant, but never a World Series. So, all right, we'll talk. Oh yeah, that's all right. Catch me next time, John. Anyway, and Gary, I still need to talk to Gary. I meant to talk to him about his song. But anyway, we're losing viewers, but we did good. We got up to 44 was the peak at one point. So anyway, I'll talk to you all later. We'll next Monday we'll have a new song. Hopefully, I'll let you know. I'll let you know on Discord if it doesn't go well. Okay, everybody, take care. God bless you. Bye bye.